Right, I don't know where this segment's going, I'll be honest. This might be a complete flop, but I want to talk about it, all right?
We'll see.
So my question today is, how do women keep falling for this? And the falling for it is a lot of women have been having sex with women by accident, which I didn't think would be that hard to avoid.
By accident?
Yeah. Well, they're being duped into having sex with women. At least this is their version of events. We'll get to it in a minute.
Well, I mean, I remember there was that BBC article that got taken down at the end of 2021 where they said, lesbians were talking about, men in dresses are trying to convince me to have sex with them and suck their penis.
It's not like
Which was not the sort of thing that I was expecting to see the BBC. So it's not like that. This is...
Well, we'll start off by promoting the thing on lotus.com for the segment being Abigail Schreier's irreversible damage, because transgenderism has nothing to do with this story at all. Okay? Alright, we good? YouTube? I'm going to blow my head off? Jesus.
I don't believe you.
Let's go to the next one here. Because I saw this post a little while back, which was, making women look dumb is now a disturbing new podcast trend. And
coming from the New York Post as well, supposedly right-wing.
Women posting L's just said, have you considered that these women are actually just dumb? Which was a fair point.
I do want to point something out very quickly, which was a criticism of the Whatever podcast. Did you see the sponsorship that this man took on the podcast a few weeks ago? Well, his typical co-host he has, the guy without the beard, bit more Chadley.
The one who got shut up about Jesus?
Yes, that guy.
All right.
He retweeted it saying that if they don't change what they were doing with some of the sponsorships, that he would be leaving the show altogether, because this man decided that it would be a great idea on a podcast where he's telling thoughts about how bad it is that they're all thoughts to advertise what I can describe as a pocket fellatio machine for the benefit of men, shall we say. I don't want to say it on stream. It's not very appropriate. And even all of the ethos he had on the podcast with him were disgusted with what he was doing. So
okay, I haven't heard the drama.
It's not a good look.
Well, we're not really going into the Whatever's podcast. It's just more...
I just wanted to throw out some criticism there and make people aware of it.
Fair enough. So, I mean, I saw this. A lot of people got butthurt about it. Now, I'm not going on this rant that I'm about to because of I'm on the Pearl Davis train or anything. If we go to the next link, you can see what I'm talking about with Pearl. Society of Women Didn't Vote, tweets Pearl, heaven. So, I'm not there. I mean, I do admit...
Why not?
Women are strange creatures, to say the least, to men. I don't know if you noticed this Everest avalanche thing picked off recently. If we go to the next video, in which a woman who's about to climb Mount Everest with a group of people is screaming in shock because there are dead people at Mount Everest. It's really annoying to listen to say the least. And also is ridiculous, because she's like, oh my god, there are dead people at Mount Everest. If you go to the next link, the Oppenheimer meme. It's like, what do you mean it's dangerous?
It is pretty horrifying, but you should be aware of these things before you try and climb Everest, and you should also be very aware that you might end up one of those landmarks that they have.
But my point being, that, I mean, there's some naivety to be found of female creatures, of course men as well, but in media especially, I mean, like that one there in real life, and also on the girls go on the Whatever podcast and be like, am I dumb? And I was like, well, you did get an invite. So, so let's go to the story of what I'm talking about. Because, as I mentioned, a lot of women have been tricked into having sex with women, and these stories seem to have been popping up quite a lot for me, and it wasn't just me. Daisy was saying she keep getting them on social media as well. What's going on, is my question, because this isn't, very common, but it's common enough that there are now multiple stories about this, one every couple of years, which, strange. So here we have the Dale. This is from 2011. They reported this as the earliest.
Oh, this has been going on for a long while.
Woman 26 poses as a man for 9 years to trick two women into having sexual relations.
How?
Yeah.
That was one shocking level of dedication.
Just before we go forward.
Also, what if you're a lesbian?
No, I'm straight. I got tricked.
No. I mean the woman who posed as the man.
Yeah.
Surely there are other women that you could pursue that you don't have to pretend to be a man for 9 years to obtain.
I would have thought. I tried to find men doing the reverse of this subject before I go forward. I couldn't. All I could find was rapists. So, if a man wants to get with them out, they seem to just, not pose as women to try and trick men. I've not been able to find that. So
I'm also a little bit iffy on this segment so far, I must...
But there seems to be a contingent, or at least some women who instead, men don't do this, but women do, they dress up as men and trick women into having sex with them. So here's the details. A woman yesterday denied tricking 2 women into sexual intimacy by pretending to be a man. In an elaborate ruse, Samantha Brooks, 26, is accused of posing as a man called Lee Brooks in order to have sexual contact with them.
Wait, so she was 17 when she started this?
Presumably.
I mean, if she was...
the dates work out there.
Yeah, if she was not... If it's been 9 years, then she started when she was...
They did say this went on for 8 years with one woman and 8 months with another. So presumably she started at 18 then. And she's 2 times at one point.
Potentially.
So, she is even alleged to have proposed to one woman. Which is weird. Just why would you do that? Brooks faces well, why would you any of this? She faces 2 charges of obtaining sexual contact by fraud, which I didn't know was a crime. Like,
yeah, I've never heard of it before.
Yeah, baby, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Let's go back to your place. You're not Ryan Reynolds. Is that
I
fraud?
only just figured this up on the morning after when I woke up. I'm taking you to court, Sonny.
The charge alleges that she penetrated each woman that suffered from she penetrated each woman and said that she suffered from
She pretended to each woman.
Sorry. My reading skills.
Oh
She pretended to each
God.
woman that she suffered from testicular cancer and that they could not handle her penis in an attempt to induce each to believe that she had a penis, which she obviously didn't. Now, I don't know if women know, but testicular cancer doesn't get rid of the penis. I don't know why that was a reasonable excuse for why you can't touch.
I don't think it's a transmissible disease to women.
Well, you're cut. If you touch it with your hands will fall off. Whereas if I put it inside of you,
We're being a bit. This really is avant-garde podcasting right now, isn't it?
I don't really understand why anyone would believe that. And there's a whole bunch of other excuses in the following up stories, which I also don't understand why a woman would believe, but okay. It alleges she tried to hide her breasts from the women by telling one that she had suffered burns on her back and needed to wear bandages around the chest area. Which I also wouldn't believe, but she alleges to the other that she had suffered a stab wound in the torso, which is why she had to have bandages and cling film around the chest. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. Brooks is accused of placing a condom on an object she purportedly pretended to be her penis, and then had sexual intimacy with both women, which she knew would not otherwise consent to the sex. It is also alleged that she bathed in the presence of each woman, but used bubble bath to hide her body. I don't know what to think about any of this, because part of me is like, there's no way you would
John,
be fooled.
John, can you scroll back up to the date of this? I just wanted
This
to
is 2011.
No, I know it's 2011. No, it's not April 1st.
No?
Okay, no, this is the 15th of January. Carry on.
And this might have been a one-off, right? 2011, back before any of the new gender politics, so everyone just kind of laughed at it. This happens every couple of years by the seams, though, because we've got the next link. Gail Newland, woman found guilty of posing as a man to trick friend into sex at new trial. Why? I mean, just why? Is all that's on my mind. And how would you fall for this? A woman has been convicted of impersonating a man over 2 years in an astonishing deception to trick her female friend into sex.
Did she read the Daily Mail article and become inspired?
That's a good idea. So Gail Newland created a disturbingly complex online persona to achieve her own bizarre sexual satisfaction, Manchester Crown Court heard. A retrial jury found the 27-year-old of guilty of committing sexual assault by using a prosthetic penis without the victim's consent. I mean, this brings up a whole other conversation, because you remember how it was sort of an argument that if you go home with a transgender individual and they don't tell you that until the morning after, you're a bigot for being upset? According to British law, it's a crime. It's, sexual intercourse by fraud and also, sexual assault, by the looks of it.
That's something I know now.
There we are. Newland convinced her friend she was a man by putting on a deep voice and using a blindfold, apparently. I mean, this sounds like a Monty Python sketch, or Blackadder. It's just the queen comes in and is like, put on this blindfold. Oh, yes, I am a man. Tee-hee. Throughout dozens of sexual encounters, she put on the deep voice and made the woman wear a blindfold for a 2-year relationship with the victim.
A dozen?
Over 2 years. It's just like, just put this on before we meet. Why? Do I still have to do this after 2 years? Yes. Yes, just for reasons. Her victim said she had been made to wear the blindfold at all times. The pair were together, even when they sunbathed and watched a film at her flat. One of them was blindfolded whilst they're hugging and watching a movie. I mean, again, she's been convicted of this, but part of me is still like, do I believe this is real?
I don't know if I believe this unless the victim was astonishingly stupid, which is not out of the question. But then I just feel, yeah. Either way, I feel bad laughing at this because somebody has been manipulated, but at the same time, you have to be exceptionally stupid to fall for something like, or maybe just lonely.
I mean, this is like the Darwin
remarkably
Award
lonely
of the dating market. I feel
you either have to be remarkably stupid or remarkably lonely to fall for something like this. I don't know what to say.
She told the court that she only realised her partner was a woman when she pulled her blindfold off during sex and saw it was her friend wearing a strap-on penis.
Oh my god. If it's your friend... Right, this sounds so fake to me, because if it's your friend, then surely you know where they live.
I mean, what do you do? I mean, if you're Newland here, just go, I can explain.
I don't know. Like, if it's your friend, you presumably have been to their flat before, right?
Yeah.
So you go to somewhere right around the corner from where your friend's flat is, and then they make you put on a blindfold, and then they take you maybe up
no questions here,
a series of a flight of stairs, which is remarkably similar in length and distance to this flight of stairs that you're going up already when you go to visit your friend. And then you end up in a space that you can't see, but it's presumably...
It smells the same as your friend.
It smells the same as your friend. It's got a similar layout from what you can feel. What on earth is this?
This bloke here, he seems to smell remarkably well for a bloke. He sort of smells like he's wearing perfume or something. And for some reason, the voice isn't quite right.
And like, you can't recognize your friend's voice when they put on a deep voice around you.
Dear, I am a man. Tee-hee. Just
like, oh my! This sounds
conviction. Convicted of this, apparently.
I hope this is a fake story. I honestly do.
Newland claimed her accuser always knew she was pretending to be Kai Fortune, which is the name chosen for the alter ego. She created at 15 using American man's photos and videos as they engaged in what she says was actually a role-play situation over 2 years, whilst they struggled with their sexuality. Which, I just don't know who to believe. She said no blindfold was used as they had sex on more than 10 occasions, while the complainant's flat in Chester in 2013. So this is the thing. I mean, it sounds like a Blackadder sketch.
There's conflicting accounts.
The person who says they did it was like no, there was no blindfold. This was some kind of roleplay situation. But then 2 juries convicted this person. One of the verdicts was overturned, but then the other jury also convicted them. So, I just don't know what to say. Presumably, it is true. The person who said, yeah, I was blindfolded for 2 years whilst we went to my friend's flat and had sex, and I had no questions about it. She told the court she did not strap bandages to her chest or wear a swimsuit or a woolen hat to conceal her appearance. But prosecutor Simon Medland, QC, told the jury that she was manipulative, deceitful, and a very crafty young woman. So she's like a witch or something of the gender world. Newland went to such astonishing lengths to conceal the complainant's life, to control the complainant's life, and make her do things the defendant wanted her to do, he said. It also emerged that Newland had been pretending to be Kai Fortune with at least 3 other women she had met online. So yeah, maybe there is some truth, or she's doing it to other women as well. One woman engaged in online telephone conversations over a 5-year period, in which she eventually worked out that she had been deceived.
And at least that one sounds like it would make more sense, because you could use a voice changer or something over the phone.
Just talk like this, love, over the phone. Oh, yeah. Court, I like when I'm hard. I mean, I imagine the conversations are like 40 Years a Virgin, where she's trying to describe, I don't know, her penis or desires, and it just sounds like the guy talking about boobs are like bags of sand.
No comment.
All right.
No comment.
In a statement to the court, she had a comment. She said that she started becoming suspicious when she noted that the houses in the background of some of Kai's photographs appeared to be American, not where she lived.
Not anything else.
In Manchester.
Nothing else in this whole bizarre scenario you found yourself in tipped you off.
No.
Until you started to sleuth around. Hold up.
You don't have an American accent.
Gets out Crockett hat. Davy Crockett hat.
And the thing
Gets
is,
magnifying glass out.
one or two. Okay, this could, one or two times happen. Third time, this I found on the way back. Well, I just flown back to the UK. I got on a train from Heathrow back to Swindon, picked up the paper, and this story was in there. Woman 40 posed as man to trick woman into having sex with her. I would have thought you would have known, looking at the image. I don't know how convincing the disguise is. A woman was tricked into having sex in a 2-year relationship with another woman who was pretending to be a man. The victim, who can't be named for illegal reasons, claimed she had sexual intercourse twice with the man and even planned to marry him. Blade Silvano, 40, has been accused of a sophisticated scam by tricking the woman into believing she was a male. Prosecutors said that the pair met online in 2016 when Silvano had posted her status on Plenty of Fish as a man looking for women and matched with the victim. Now, I've used Tinder, as we mentioned in the past, for all of 5 minutes to check it out and been like, wow, this is full of whores. One thing I did notice is if you look for women on Tinder, not all of them are women. Now, I did assume at first that this was all because, God bless transgenderism or something at the headquarters of Tinder, and they're just going along with that. Now I'm a bit sus about whether or not there is some other kind of weird fetish out there about deceiving people. Who knows? They first met in person in December, and that year they kissed, before going on to have intercourse on 2 separate occasions, the jury was told. But Mitchell Hillman, for the prosecution, said...
Michael Hillman
said Silvano continued to hide her true identity by using an unknown item to penetrate, and always kept her t-shirt and boxers on. Which, again, I would have thought would be a red flag. So, can I have a look? Can I have a cheeky D-pic? No. Why? Reasons. The shocked victim only discovered the lover's true gender through Facebook nearly 2 years later, after they were planning a wedding. Which also I don't really get. Like, if the person here is scamming you, why are they planning a wedding with you?
Go all in, I suppose.
The defendant says it was all roleplay. The same defense as the previous one. So, there's that. She said she believed Silvano when she told her that she was a vet with the British Army and that it was not part of a fantasy. The court also heard that the reason Silvano said that she put off the wedding and an officer's dinner was because she was injured by a cow. Which,
What?
Typical problems.
It happens.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever been into a field before.
I mean, if you're a vet for cows, I suppose.
I assume you've been into a field before.
Yeah.
Have you been in a cow field?
I've never been bothered by the cows.
They do occasionally give you a dirty look, though.
I mean, unless
they
you mess
give you
with
the
the
look
calf.
like you're messing with my territory here.
You got to sit. Have you seen those videos?
I have once menacingly been followed by a herd of cows while I was walking through their territory.
I'm sure you've seen the videos, but there are plenty of them. If you play an instrument near a herd of cows, for some reason it just calms them down. They all get mesmerised by it.
Who told you this? The Pied Piper?
No, seriously. If you look up,
really?
man plays accordion to cow, or little girl plays recorder to cows, etc. There's a whole host of these videos.
That's quite sweet.
All the cows will come over because they've got now else going on.
John,
and
bring that up for me.
John, load that up whilst I read the rest of this.
Oh no,
weird story.
Must we return? Can we not just look at the cows being calmed?
No.
Oh, thank you.
The trial heard that she had gone on to try on a wedding dress and even sent the image to the alleged criminal here. During the initial police interview, she said, "When we had sex, Blade would usually blindfold me." That old chestnut. That's
classic.
Yeah. And I was never allowed to look during penetration. Which I would have thought was a red flag if you were a woman. Just not that necessarily this might be a woman with a strap on, but more, why? Maybe this isn't my love partner. Maybe I shouldn't be having sex with someone who's like, yeah, no, you can't look at my penis. It's all rotten down there.
I feel very bad for these women who fell for this, if all of these stories are true, because they obviously should not have been let out of the care of their fathers.
Yeah, she was also quizzed on why she should not have hair on his legs, and then she responded, no, he did. So, I mean, not being rude, looking at the previous photo, I'm not sure that that person would have shaved their legs regularly. Let's do that one, why not? There's an accordion here from presumably Switzerland.
They rushed to it.
Serbia.
Skip ahead so we can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just skip to wherever it's most viewed.
Look at them. Oh, that's quite sweet.
Just to cheer you up in between before we get to the next story of deceit and lies.
All right.
Anyway,
Okay.
loads of them. Go and check them out. Good fun, if nothing else. So
Yes, this is the most recent one.
let's go to the last story, because this is the thing that happened literally like a couple of days ago. It's just come out of nowhere. A woman posed as man to have sex with teenager. And this is supposedly the person who deceived a teenager into having sex with them. Georgina Bilham, 21. Who...
Georgia.
Georgia over there. So, she is said to have set up a social media account under the name George Parry and started messaging the accuser, age 19, online. The pair eventually met in early 2021 and shortly after began a sexual relationship, Chester Crown Court told. Bilham denies 17 sexual offences, including sexual assault and assault by penetration. I mean, again, just whole other conversations about what is a crime in the UK. Claiming that he was involved in Albanian drug gangs, George told her that he was afraid to take off his top and was self-conscious about stabbing scars. So that's why you can't look at my penis.
This person really did just read that Daily Mail article. I feel like this Daily Mail article is
May
what
have
set
inspired
this whole chain of events off.
a load of copycat, I don't know, rapists? Sexual assaulters? I mean, I don't know why it's not rape.
I mean, I think in British law, the definition of rape does have to involve penetration, so surely this would count.
Yeah. I think British law, someone did correct us, which is it's massively sexist, which is that it's penetration with a physical penis. So,
Oh, all right.
Maybe that's why.
So they have to do things like sex under auspices of fraud or something
This
like
was
that.
sexual
to charge
fraud, which...
this. Like you're stealing away in the night with a bag full of money afterwards.
I told her I was rich. Little did she know I'm penniless.
That old chestnut.
Yeah, so also claiming you're working with Albanian drug gangs is apparently, I don't know, turns women on or something.
I wouldn't be shocked at that, to be honest.
I mean, that would be a reason to leave, in my view, but average women. The alleged victim, who cannot be named for legal reasons, is very short-sighted. So what the... I'm sorry, but these excuses are just not convincing to me. So she says that the woman who was pretending to be a man would just take off her glasses, which would render the victim essentially blind, the jury were told. How could I have known?
But before you took off the glasses...
Yeah, I would have thought there'd be a couple of minutes of chit-chat. Maybe a date before you decide to have sex with an Albanian gangster. No?
I'm so confused.
When she found a bank card belonging to Georgia Bilham, the defendant claimed he had borrowed it to pay road tax. Which, again, is just a terrible lie. Not convincing. She began to research George more thoroughly online. You know, you don't usually do that before you have sex with someone, but no, do it after. That's the correct series of events. After the defendant introduced him to her mother. So the credit card wasn't suspicious enough. She was like, I believe that this is a man who stole a woman's credit card to pay road tax. No questions here. And then went on to meet George's mother over here. Now, the mother could see. So... Whereas
what is going on?
Whereas the woman here, presumably, after they met, the other woman who's pretending to be a man was like, oh, no, I prefer you with the glasses off, love. Keep it that way. Cool, that's sexy. Hate a bit of glasses in my life. Keep your short-sighted. I also, if she's short-sighted, I mean, what does that... Does that mean she's blind in the short way, or is that blind in the long way?
Right, if you're pulling this scam, and you know you've only managed to get away with it, somehow you've been lucky enough to find the one woman who's blind enough and slow enough to not realise before you take the glasses off, hold up, this is a woman. Why do you then agree to go and meet the mother, who presumably will be able to suss it out immediately?
The allegation here is that the way that she also tricked the woman into believing she was a man is that she would take her hair and wear a hoodie and put the hair in a bun behind her so she wouldn't see that there's long hair. That'll do it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with any of these because they're all court cases. This isn't a case of, I've been tricked, let me go to the papers for money. It's, I've been tricked, I'm going to take this to court. God knows how many women are also being tricked and not taking it to court or the papers.
Well, you say you don't know what to do with any of these. You certainly sat me down and made me listen to
Well,
all
this is what I've done with them. Because
there you go.
Help! I don't know what I'm looking at. Just as a side note, I don't know why I didn't include it. I read it in the previous one, though, with the woman who was, I think, what was it, Newham, that one? That she was asked in the cross-examination, well, maybe you didn't touch the thing that was penetrating you, because, I don't know, you just allowed that to happen. But you did say in your police interview that you ran your hands along the waist and then the arse of the person who was having sex with you. Did you feel any straps? You know, that because they're kind of essential to a strap-on, is the strap part. And the person says, yes, but I did not immediately conclude it was a strap-on. What did you conclude it to be? You know when you have sex with men and they're wearing, I don't know, strappy boxers?
I'm done.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, if there's one thing I've taken away from this entire segment, if there's one thing that I've learnt, moral of the story, is that you really weren't lying at the beginning when you said this had nothing to do with transgenderism.
No.
So thank you for that.
I don't know what to do with any of this. I've just had this pop up quite a lot. I'm not the only one. Daisy had it as well, and I thought, is anyone else getting these? And in which case...
Someone's sending you these via email. It's happened again, Callum. It's happened again. We need to stop it.
More the question, what's going on exactly? Because this never used to happen, I would have
Well,
presumed.
maybe it did. It just wasn't getting reported on, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, are there just a series of women who are tricksters? It's just a prank, bro. Is this some kind of minor fetish that now, thanks to the internet age, as all fetishes have exploded for some reason, and now women are tricking other women into having sex?
Well, I mean, the fetishes have exploded just because it's easier to access them.
You know, by next year, will this be a new flag that you'll see at Pride? Deceptive Women, Inc. I don't know. But anyway,
I think it's video comment time.
thoughts in the comments. I'm worried for the women of the world. If you're going to have sex with a gruff man who makes you wear a blindfold, think before you have sex. It's a PSA. That's what that segment was.
There we go.
It was a PSA for all the women of the world out there. Check that it's real.
All right.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Symposium series, this episode on debating secular ethics. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.